Everyone, are we all feeling super duper? I hope so. It is Thursday, the 22nd of January. Got just over a week left. Just over a week left, and January is done and dusted for another year. We are getting to the business end of the week. I always say that. Approaching that weekend zone. We broke the back of it now. Broke the back of the working week. All right, the working week. 2 days to go. 3 for me, 4 for me. To be fair, I'm doing a bit every day at the moment, but I absolutely love it. So it doesn't matter. Anyway, what have you been up to? Was I on yesterday? I was on yesterday morning for a bit, wasn't I? Just on TikTok. So I'm sorry if you just follow me on YouTube or Facebook, but I'm here. I'm here. And we're here twice today. So we've got a live this morning. And then I will be back at around 7:30-ish this evening for 45 minutes to an hour. And I'm going to keep a second evening live in going forward. So I'm going to drop out my Friday morning live, I think. Just because Friday morning's check-in day, it's mega busy. The hour I set on a live, and I love doing my lives, but I'm always sat here sometimes going, I should be doing check-ins now. I could be doing check-ins now. So the Friday morning live, I'm going to knock on the head, but I'm going to try and do a live on a Saturday morning now, every maybe other week. I'm going to try and get one in this week. But yeah, I'm going to keep an extra evening live in. So I'm just going to replace the evening like the Friday morning live with an extra evening live. Could be a Tuesday, could be a Thursday. Make sure you subscribe to the newsletter and you read the timetable at the bottom so you'll know for the week when the lives are. Anyway, there we go. What else are we doing now? What else am I doing today? Not a lot. Plan writing. End of January means end of January deal. So if you want to come on my one-to-one plan, you get a full tailored plan. You get one-to-one check-ins with me. You get access to my WhatsApp 24/7. If you've got any issues, you can WhatsApp me and ask any questions and get in touch, or just have a rant, or just, if you're curious, or if you're just querying something or whatever, I'm always there for you. Fortnightly check-ins with me. Plan adjustments if needed. Rarely needed because the plan's good. The plan's good, right? And you'll understand when you come on plan why it's rarely needed. But if we do need to adjust, I will adjust, I will guide, and we will have a successful weight loss journey together. And that is currently half price, sign up just 15 quid. And then you're also getting 4 months of coaching for the price of 3. So head to my website, thereallossboss.net. Head to my link tree. That's in my TikTok profile. It's on my Facebook page. It's on my YouTube channel. It's on my Instagram in the links. Right, head to my link tree. Click on monthly one-to-one plan. I've just updated it. I did do a code New Year 50 for 50% off. New Year, New Me 50. It wasn't working. I've deleted it. The code is just New Year, New Me. You do not need to add anything else in. Just a New Year, New Me code. That'll do. Half price, and you'll get your extra month free. There is a little T&C to get an extra month free. You must complete your first 6 check-ins. So if you do your first 2 check-ins and then I don't hear from you for 3 weeks and then you pop up for your final check-in, you won't get your month free. You need to do your first 6. All right. And then you'll get your month free at the end of it. All right. So get in touch. If you want to touch base with me first before committing to coming on plan, you're only in for 3 months. That's for a minimum 3 months commitment. After that, it's a rolling contract. So after your 3 months, if you want to cancel and go your own way, no worries at all. Again, in my link tree, the first tab of my link tree is an inquiry form. Ping over an inquiry form. My name, seen you on TikTok, seen you on Facebook, seen you on YouTube. Been following you for a little bit. Really want to come on your one-to-one plan. I think you're the person that's finally going to crack this for me, because I've been struggling with my weight for years and years and years. Send it over and I'll send you all the details. Then if you've got any further messages, you can email me back and we can go that way. Yeah? Does that make sense? Maybe. Anyway, come get on board. If you sign up before dinner time today and get your consultation form over to me before 4 o'clock today, it only takes 5-10 minutes to fill it in. I'll get you going on Monday. All right? After dinner time today, you will start on the 2nd of February, and that is the last start date for the January deal. All right? And then it's just back to full price. which isn't expensive anyway. Right, let's do the top 5 on TikTok this morning. Lou's in at number 1, Callum's in at number 2, Cheryl's in at number 3, Jane's in at number 4, and Maureen is in at number 5. Good morning, guys. Hope you're all well, happy, smiley, feeling good this week. 3rd full week of January. Was very tempted to get on the scales again this morning. Haven't done. Left him alone. I'm leaving him alone. I'm being a good boy. Faye, good morning. Emily, good morning. Mama Bear, Claire, Paula, Caroline, morning. Jan B's in, good morning. Donna's in as well, good morning. Kelly C, good morning. Sheila, Jackie, oh, you're all in this morning. Hi, going to check in Sunday, Neil. Got a double shift, so that works best. Feedback, all good. Yeah, it'll be Monday. So basically, if you come on my one-to-one plan, check-in day is Friday. It's not the end of a week. It's not the start of a week. It's just a good day to get an accurate weight. It's just a random day to weigh, right? Some people are like, right, so my new week starts Saturday. No, it doesn't. My new weekend's Friday. No, it doesn't. Weeks, there's a reason why it's called a weekend, Saturday, Sunday, right? And that's always, so it's just a good day to get an accurate reading. We tend to be certainly if you're getting coached by me, we tend to be a little bit more calorific at the weekend. That means more food going into the body. That means generally, a few more refined carbs, a bit more salt going into the body because you might be having like a takeaway, something like that. That causes water retention. And if we wait till Friday to weigh in, all that extra sort of false negative weight in the body, because that's all it is. It's just an extra bit of food, extra bit of water, extra bit of water retention will be gone by Friday. So you weigh on a Friday. Well, but nothing with me is set in stone. It's not like, right, you've got to weigh in on a Friday. Some clients will weigh in this morning. I've had 2 check-ins this morning because they're at work early tomorrow or whatever. And just like Faye's put there, she's going to check in on Sunday. The only thing I do say is any check-ins that come in after normally 12 p.m. on Saturday will be done Monday. This week, guys, any check-ins that come in at all over the weekend are probably going to be done Monday. Why? Saturday morning, I'm going to get up, I'm going to do spin. And then I'm going to hopefully do a live. I'm going to do spin. And then my bathroom is getting ripped out. And I'm labourer for it. Well, I am labourer for it. Tidy, like basically doing tip runs to tip everything because I'm not paying 300 quid for a skip. I'd rather do 3 tip runs myself than pay £300 for a skip. So Saturday, I'm out of action. I'm not working Saturday, right? I might end up doing a few check-ins Sunday because I'm definitely not doing anything Sunday after I'm going to put my feet up and chill on the couch, watch the footy at 4:30. But Saturday, I'm out of commission. So I think this week, and I'll put that today. I always send a check-in reminder out on a Sunday, on a Thursday evening, and I will be putting in, I'm off for the weekend. So, because I'm ripping out a bathroom, and it might roll into Sunday, to be honest with you. We'll see where we get to on Saturday. Yes, any check-ins that come in Saturday or Sunday will probably be done Monday anyway. And you can check in Saturday, you can check in Sunday. Again, Sunday's one of those for checking in. Like I say, if you are having a bit of a calorific Saturday night, takeaway, meal out, I tend to probably leave the scales alone a little bit. Though, to be honest with you, you probably won't be too bad. It's normally Mondays where we're normally about 24 hours behind when things start to show on a set of scales, if that makes sense. Of course it does, Neil. Of course it does. PP, good morning. Caroline O'Toole, good morning. Caroline messaged me this morning saying, where was the live from Tuesday? I can't find it. My bad. I have uploaded it to YouTube. I've not put it into a playlist, so you'd never find it if you looked at the private playlist for the community. And I've not posted the link. I will do it today. Well, shortly, if you want. I'll do it today, shortly, blah, 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 and get that link. But it is up there. It is up there now. If you head to the Approach playlist, if you've got the link, and I posted the link on Tuesday in the WhatsApp community in the announcement section. If you head to that bit there, you will, you will see, and I'll post it in the WhatsApp announcement section, and I'll post it in the, where am I posting it? In the Facebook group. I'll post it in the Facebook group. I'm just actually tagging everyone in the Facebook group because I got the actual last night's the everything weight loss session uploaded straight away last night. It downloaded really and converted really, really quickly. And I was doing a few bits and pieces in here afterwards. So just tagged everyone tonight if anyone wants to give that a little watch back. All right. 28 days to my Caribbean cruise, and I've been so on it. Sounds amazing. We've been looking at a cruise for next year. We've been looking at a cruise for next February, March. Yeah, there's been some deals on with TUI. So I've been having a little bit of a look about. And I was like, oh, rates, these aren't too bad, these cruises. Like 14 nights, £2,400 each. I'm not saying that's not a lot of money, 4,800 quid. But 2 weeks, all inclusive, going around several Caribbean islands. I'm like, that sounds all right. And it's our 5th wedding anniversary next year. And what was I gonna say? Yeah, it's our 5th wedding anniversary next year. And the Caribbean cruise, now, and don't get me wrong, we got married at Christmas, and Christmas is a really good time to go to the Caribbean. We got married just in the beginning of December. But Rachel can't take time off in December from work because they automatically get included in their contract. They give them 2 weeks off at Christmas. So because everyone gets 2 weeks off at Christmas, they ask them to work for the whole of December to get all the January deals done, because they're basically a marketing company for a windows, doors, conservatories place, and they obviously have big January offers on. You didn't need to know that, but I just thought I'd tell you. So February. So I was like, do we go next year or do we do it 3 months? So probably, because we looked, it was like 4,800 quid. It's not ridiculous for what you get. I'm not saying it's not cheap, but then when you start adding on, I want a cabin with a balcony so I can sit outside my room and watch the world go by. It went up to like 8,000 quid. And I'm like, shit, the bed, that's a lot of money. So I think we're going to do 2028, which would be like February, March. So 2 years. So, but we might get it booked, because we might get it booked now, and then you've got 2 years to. I think you can book now. I think you can book now for that time ahead, and then we've got time to sort of chip away at it and pay it off. Because I don't know. Like I've always fancied doing a cruise. Rachel's always been a little bit like, nah. I'm not that bothered. But we spoke to quite a few people, and this, that, and the other, and she's been converted. I just think it's I know you only get a few hours on it, but it's just a great way to tick off a few islands, isn't it? And see a few different bits and pieces, you know. Right. Anyway, let me scan up. Anyway, that's our holiday plans sorted. The amount of steps you do on a cruise is ridiculous. I bet, well, they're massive, aren't they? It's just a massive floating hotel. It's just a huge floating hotel. So, yeah, I'm gonna, you know. Hello everyone, hello Lynn. Yeah, so we've been looking into it, and like I said, we've been looking at TUI, we've been looking at Virgin, and then we're just going to have a look and see what we actually fancy. We saw one actually with Virgin where you fly to Miami and then you go from Fort Lauderdale, but you actually get like 3 nights in Miami, because I really want to do Miami, and then you get 3 nights in Miami. And then you do like your Barbados, and you actually get 2 nights in Barbados. And I really want to do Barbados. And then you go around and tick off a few other. I'm not sure if you go to the Bahamas as well and stuff like that. But not cheap. Not cheap. It's all right. I say it's all right. It's a lot of pennies, but 2 years. And it's our wedding, 5th wedding anniversary. You've got to do something decent, haven't you? Have you? We just use anything as an excuse for an holiday, to be honest with you. Anyway, Raquel, good morning. Anyone else in? No, that's about it. Anyway, how's the weight loss week gone for me this week? Really, really good. I had a KFC last night and a McFlurry, and you might be like, well, that doesn't sound very good, Neil. And I had a full-blown KFC and McFlurry last night. I didn't do what I call midweek. I didn't just get a twister wrap and that was it. No, I had a fillet burger box meal and a full-sized Oreo McFlurry. How can you have that and lose weight, Neil? Because it all fits in with my calories. That's it. Dead simple. Dead simple. It all fits in with my calories. And yesterday, I literally eaten 600, and I'm lying. I'd eaten 710 calories. Right. I did have it in as 600, so it's actually put me. I'm only meant to eat 2,100 a day this week. I ended up having 2,210 because I forgot I had a banana yesterday morning. Those pesky little bananas. Anyway, so I had a banana yesterday morning before the gym, and then I put a post up. I had the new lentil protein pouches that are in Aldi at the moment, and I mixed them with some chicken and some bacon and broccoli, and I had a couple of fried eggs. It was absolutely sensational. It was such a good lunch. Really, really tasty lunch. And that was it. That's all I ate all day. So I'm eating 2,000. I'm trying to stick to 2,100 calories a day at the moment. And I'd eaten like 700. I thought it was 650 to be honest, about 630 to be honest with you. So I'm literally like, so I'm following. I've got 1,600 calories left for the rest of the day, or 1,500 calories left for the rest of the day. I was picking them up from work. Let's go and have a fancy, a proper KFC. So it was like cool. So anyway, I had a Philip burger box meal, but Rachel, we split the burger because Rachel she didn't want a full burger, she wanted half a burger. So I also had the hot honey drip wings. So I tried them. I'm not a massive fan of KFC hot wings. I love chicken wings. It's my favorite part of a chicken. But I don't like them in coating. I don't like them in a batter. I just like grilled like wings, like you get from Nando's. Love them. Absolutely. Could eat buckets of them. Absolutely love them. But anyway, I thought she didn't want to try the hot honey burger. She wanted half my burger. So I got the hot honey wings. I actually quite liked them, but too messy. Really, really messy. Like it literally come a pot full of like their type of hot honey sauce. It wasn't a hot honey sauce. It was just a sweet like sauce, really. But they were nice, but just too messy for me, and that pees me off a little bit. Anyway, we ate the wings. We ate the wings. We had half a fillet burger, piece of chicken that came with the box meal, regular fries, gravy. Rachel got a boneless banquet as well, and I ate the beans out of that. And then I had a McFlurry from McDonald's, which is across the road from the KFC we go to. Oreo McFlurry. One of full-size Oreo McFlurry is one of the best ways to spend 260 calories. I don't even bother with this special, unless I'm reviewing them or something like that. Them specialty McFlurries that are like the Galaxy Caramel one at the moment, it's like 380 calories. I'm telling you now, Oreo one, 260. I'd much rather have that for 260 than any of the special ones. Absolutely top tier. I'm not a fan of the KFC hot honey sauce. Yeah, it's not hot honey. It's not a hot honey sauce. It's more like a sweet and sour, if that makes. I don't know how to explain it. It didn't taste like I don't know why they just didn't put 3 wings in a box and drizzle hot honey on it, right? And just have that. That would have been much better, you know. Morning down for me. Take the grandkids out for the day. Brilliant, Steph. Enjoy the best you can. I was going to say just chill and relax. We're not going to be chilled and relaxed. Take the grandkids out, but you know. I'm on 2,150 calories. Been on it since the 6th of Jan. Lost 1.2 pounds. Not happy with it. 6 to 10,000 steps. I need to drop it for sure. No, don't up your steps. Up your steps. It's miles easier to move more than it is to eat less. Instead of saying with 6 to 10,000 steps, do 10,000 steps a day, right? And then eat your 2,150. You've lost 1.2 pounds. That's all right, right? You average 10,000 steps a day. And you eat 2,150 calories. If you've lost 1.2 pounds from the 6th of Jan, now don't get me wrong, I don't know what your Christmas weight gain was. So, you know, or you need to be consistent. Do you know what I mean? Or you need to be a bit more consistent. But no, I wouldn't. I'd never eat less. Never eat less. I would always work on moving more. It's miles easier. Miles easier. I don't care what anyone says. It's miles easier to move more. You know, loads of people say to me, "Oh, I'm so jealous of your calories." Just move more, eat more. You move more, you eat more, right? If you're currently in a 3,500 calorie deficit and your calories are 1,800 a day and you're averaging 8,000 steps a day, do 10,000 steps a day and I can eat 2,000 calories a day. Do 10,000 steps a day and go to the gym a couple of times a week and I can eat 2,150 or 2,100 calories a day, right? Now, I'm not saying you do your steps solely for calorie burn. I'm not saying you go to the gym solely for calorie burn. You don't actually burn that many calories in the gym. But if you do 2 decent gym sessions a week, that should be 700 calorie burn. And that means you can stay in a 3,500 calorie deficit and eat more food, right? And it is, I'm telling you now, and your appetite does not massively increase or decrease through movement and exercise. It really doesn't, right? I'm telling you now, I go to the gym 6 times a week, right? And I train pretty hard, right? If I stopped going to the gym, my appetite would not decrease. I would still want to eat the calories that I eat now, right? Exercise does not have a massive bearing on appetite load. It really doesn't. Like all these people are, yeah, well, I need to eat more when I train. No, you don't. It's in your head, right? If your appetite, if you're currently wanting 2,500 calories a day and you're currently doing 6,000 steps a day and you double that to 12,000 steps a day, there isn't like a correlation between more movement and consuming more calories. There really isn't. It doesn't have that much. In fact, exercise is proven to help regulate appetite down, not up. Right? Certainly in the short term, I can be hungry. Right? I can be hungry and I go to the gym. Right? I can be hungry and I go to the gym, and I'm not hungry anymore because exercise can help to direct. Now, don't get me wrong. When you move more, you burn more calories. So you might be like, well, I need more fuel then. You've got it. That's why you're fat. Right? And that's the honest truth of it. I still carry a decent amount of body fat. Right? So if I end up having a week where I move a bit more, let your fat do the work. That's what it's there for. Body fat is excess energy. It's your petrol tank. So let your petrol tank do the work, not food. Right? You do not need more calories when you move more. You don't, especially if you're fat. Right? You really don't. You've got the calories. You've had them. Right? You're storing them. They're sat there. They're ready to go. Yeah. So, so that's why it's miles easier to move more. Now, if you're currently sat there and you're on 2,300 calories a day, and you're like, I am absolutely controlling my calories brilliantly. 2,300 calories a day, perfect. I have 2,000 Monday to Friday. I have whatever, 3,000 on Saturday, 3,000 on Sunday, ticking the boxes. And you're currently averaging 10,000 steps a day, and that's it. If you then push your steps to 12,000 steps a day and put a couple of exercise sessions in, you don't need to increase your calories. It'll just increase your deficit. And then instead of losing a pound a week, you might lose a pound and a half. So you can push it a little bit. I would say healthy, sustainable fat loss is a pound a week on average, right? But that's a generic term for the average person, because I struggle to get my clients sometimes to do more than 7,000 steps a day on average, let alone get anywhere near 10, and actually add a little bit of exercise in. But if you can drive yourself to do that, you will have a really healthy calorie allowance that will give you so much freedom and flexibility with your eating. And it will make it so much easier to stick to a calorie deficit. It really will, Good morning. Seems to be fighting the hunger yesterday and this morning full of cold. Emotional. I was thinking about this actually over Christmas. We can get short-term emotional eating and we have long-term emotional eating. What we need to get a grip of is long-term emotional eating. Everyone suffers with short-term emotional eating. What is short-term emotional eating? Something where you want to consume more calories for a day or two. And I think it's quite a natural thing. Food releases different endorphins. It releases dopamine into the body. It literally can make us feel good, right? And there's nothing wrong with that. Just like lots of things can make us feel that little bit better, What would I class as short-term emotional eating? Having a cold, right? Or feeling ill. It's a short-term negative emotion that will be gone in a couple of days, right? A hangover. Emotional eating is triggered by something that's going on inside us that we don't like. So we'll use food to try and mask it a little bit, right? Now, So when we're ill, it's just crap at it. It's just horrible. You don't feel great, and this, that, and the other. So I need something to make me feel good, put a smile on my face, and food can do that. It can give you a right good hug. It can. So, and a lot of us are like, we question. What I'm trying to say this is, I think we question short-term emotional eating too much, when really, what we should be, as long as we address so what's long-term emotional eating? Long-term emotional eating is when we use negative emotion as an excuse like constant negative emotions as an excuse to overeat. And I think it's something that's buried deep inside us. It's not a wave of something that comes and goes, right? Now, don't get me wrong, long-term emotional eating can also be attached to poor excuses. So I used to emotionally eat at work all the time through stress. Work can be stressful. It's just part of life. It's not something that I need to turn to alcohol to, or food to, or anything else to. And we did, oh, I've just had a bad day at work. Let's eat loads of food. Everyone has a bad day at work, right? And that's where we need to have a lifestyle that allows us just to naturally cope with that stress, or that stress doesn't trigger emotional eating. And that's just part of being fitter, healthier, having better coping mechanisms, or just not needing coping mechanisms for basic stress. Basic stress, kids, work, families. It is basic stress. Now, don't get me wrong, that can be elevated where, at work at the moment, no, my boss is really riding my tail. He's been an absolute, or she's been an absolute knob, right? And that's slightly different. So there's always got to be a bit of context, but you got to use a little bit of nuanced common sense. But most of the time, it's just, when I used to work in the care industry, it was just constantly stressful, balancing, tightest budget in the world. No money coming in from local authorities to give care. Carers want more money. Taxman wants his snip. My managing director, who owned the company, was bleeding it dry. And it was just constant a battle constantly to rob Peter to pay Paul, is what it felt like, right? But it was just the job. It was just the job, and sometimes it'd do my absolute nutting. Sometimes I'd wake up at 3 a.m. and it'd be running around in my head. It's part of the job. It wasn't going to change. I'd still be in that situation now. And when I accepted that, I didn't emotionally eat through it. Now, every now and then, you'd end up with like CQC inspection, and you're like, every 18 months, 2 years, CQC, and they're literally going through the whole company like a fine-tooth comb. And their job is not to find out what you do good, it's to find out what you do bad. Right? That's what a CQC inspection is. Luckily, while I was there, pretty much every CQC inspection was pretty decent, bar one. And that was actually a little bit my fault. And I took ownership of that and I sorted it out, and we turned it around very, very quickly. But it's just everyday stress. Yeah. So we've just got to learn to cope with that. Now, like I say, we can get long-term emotional eating issues that can date back to things that happened when we were children. That can just be the way we live our lifestyle, just things that are constantly bad in our life. Like, not every day, it's like a constant. And you've got to change those things. You've got to fix them. But there is definitely a difference between. And why I'm covering this a bit is, a lot of people beat themselves up. So, like, some people will be ill for a couple of days. They're like, oh, my eating's been terrible for a couple of days. Fine. It's just short-term emotional eating. It happens. If you had a cold every week, it might cause an issue. If you get a cold every 3 to 6 months, and the fitter and healthier you get, and the more you move, the fitter and healthier you get, and the more you move, at the end of the day, the more you're going to be able to cope with different bits and pieces, But there's always going to be short-term emotional eating. Like I say, it's one thing about drinking alcohol for me. It's not the calories in the alcohol when I drink. I can fit that into any weight loss week and probably stick to my ideal deficit. It's the hangover day. Now, I don't want to drink alcohol week in, week out, because it affects my motivation. It makes me tired. It makes me lethargic. It has loads of knock-on effects, right? I don't mind it every now and then, but I don't want to drink it week in, week out. But my big issue is my hangover days. And I just feel like, especially if I'm having a big day out or a big night out or something like that, I just feel rotten. And from feeling rotten, the only way I can mask it, and that's short-term emotional eating, and that can roll into Monday as well. It really, really can at my age, right? It can roll into Monday as well. So, it is what it is. And that's why whenever if I'm going out for a big night out, right, I'll be honest and go, right, let's have a smaller calorie deficit week because I know I'm going to overeat tomorrow. But after a day or two, it's gone. And that's it, short-term emotional eating. And I'm not going to I'm not going to be like, right, how do I control my emotional eating on a hangover day? Just don't drink that much a lot of the time. Oh, clever. That's it. And then days that you do drink, it's a treat. And if you overeat, you overeat. I don't mean drinking alcohol. You've always got to be so careful with things like that because people have so many different views about it, Anyway, why do we sometimes get hungry days? Why sometimes do you get sad days? Why sometimes do you feel on top of the world? It's just hormone regulation. We're not robots. We're not machines. We're not computers. We're just people, right? We're human beings. And some days you'll be hungrier. Some days you won't be hungry. You only ever question hungry days. You never ever question, why do we get some days where I'm not that hungry? It's just because, some days your ghrelin and leptin hormones will be working in tandem. Some days they're not, So my leptin hormone, which is the hormone that tells me I'm full, doesn't work very well. But it does work better some days than others, right? Just like my ghrelin hormone that tells me I'm hungry, my actual physical hunger trigger, some days absolutely races. Some days it chills its beans a little bit, It can also be an emotion because, and hungry days can also be psychological. It doesn't have to be just physical, right? We've got to stop over questioning things, especially short term, right? Like I say, we're not robots, we're human beings. And human beings, like I say, some days you're sad, some days you're dead happy. Some days you're hungrier, some days you can control your appetite better. Now, if you're getting more hungrier days and non-hungrier days, as we might call it, there might be some rooted issues in there. But every now and then, it just is what it is. It just is what it is. And we've got to stop questioning things so much, short term, Long term is a different thing. Long term is a different thing. Generally, if you just like, I've not been able to control my appetite for 2 weeks, there's an underlying issue, right? But why you get hungry days is just, just is what it is. Lisa Moneyball, stand up last night. Looking forward to it. Not a problem at all, Lisa. I've just checked, and I will. I'll add you back to everything later on. I'm doing this live now till 9:30. I've then got to shoot it. My mum needs the car at 11:30, so got to go to the gym. I'm going to go to the post office first because I'm literally Rachel's parcel bitch. That's all that's what I am. Every day I seem to it's either something that she's returning or something off Vinted or that she's sold. So I've got to go to the post office. And not our post office, but the post office is actually near the gym. Brilliant guy that owns it. He's a top guy, really nice fella. And they literally do everything apart from Yodel. They do everything. So it's Ace now. So you walk in the post office, they do Royal Mail, DPD, the lot. They do the UPS, they do the lot. So anyway, I don't know. I've got loads of parcels to do. So I've got to fly to the post office as Rachel's parcel bitch and send all the parcels. I'm only parcel bitch once a month when I do the protein boxes. Rest of the time, it's just Rachel. So do that. Then I've got to go to the gym, train, nip into Aldi, and then fly home, get back for 11:30 so my mum can have her car back. And then it's just an afternoon of graft, really. An afternoon of grafting away, work. Yeah, I've made, if it's any good, I think it's going to be good. I'm going to tweak it, actually, because someone asked me the other day about, so I reviewed last week on Worth the Calories, them overnight oat pots, right? And in all honesty, they were bang average, right? And the biggest thing was they were tiny and very calorific. Anyway, I've had a couple of people say, and I've got a couple of overnight oat recipes on my YouTube channel. But I've had a few people saying, "Oh, it'd be ace if you could make a low calorie of it." You can't. It's just you can't. It's too many elements and too many things that have got calories in them. You can make them a bit more calorie controlled, right? But you can make them a bit more calorie controlled, but it's down to small portion, right? And you know me, I'm a big believer in volume. It's one of the big changes I made last year was not just concentrating on protein for every meal, protein, not every, but majority of meals, protein, fiber, and volume. Get the volume in. So oats have good fats in them, right? They're fairly calorific. So like 30 grams of oats is like over 100 calories, right? You then add some Greek yogurt, right? 100 grams of Greek yogurt, 60 calories. You then add some milk, a few more calories. Put some chia seeds in there. Then, I've put peanut butter powder in there and whey protein powder. So overnight oats are just, I mean, don't get me wrong, you could just do oats, yogurt, and protein powder, and that would say, but I want that, I'm always a big believer in food needs to taste good. Needs to taste really good, right? Because you want it, and like them overnight oats, I'm literally sat here now and I'm like, I can't wait to eat them. Now, I think they've set like cement, which I like with overnight oats, but I'm thinking of adding a bit more yogurt and a bit more milk. So they're slightly runnier than what they are now, but that's going to massively increase volume, right? I'm also going to experiment because I add yogurt and oats and protein powder and whey protein instead of adding milk, adding water, right? Because it's got whey protein in there. So a bit like I do with my whey whip. Yeah. So I'm thinking create a whey whip, right? So, right, with yogurt and add oats to that or something like that. So I was going to have the recipe out today. I'm not. I'm going to mess about with it a little bit. So obviously, if we take the milk out and replace it with water, that's going to take protein out, but it's going to reduce the calories. So it's just, and like I say, it's got milk in there anyway because I put whey protein powder in it. So I'm messing about with it. So basically, what I'm trying to say is, there's not going to be a new recipe out this week. It will be out next week. I might try and get 2 out next week. I've been a bit rubbish actually with YouTube content this week. But what I'm going to try and do next week is get 5 out, 1 a day, like a recipe, a podcast, a worth the calories, maybe worth the calories on tour, and a weekly weight loss vlog. We'll try and cram them in next week because really this week I've done a weekly weight loss vlog. I know that. A weekly weight loss vlog. That's it. And I'll have a worth of calories out. So that there's only going to be a couple of bits of YouTube content this week. But next week we'll get quite a few bits and pieces now. I thought I had a good week, but scales are up slightly again this morning. Unless it's your check-in, Tara. If it is, message, send your check-in over and we'll have a look through it. Right, let me. My hungry days tend to be the day after I've had a bad water intake day. Yeah, dehydration. Dehydration can increase hunger hormones. Yeah, it's a natural appetite suppressant is water. So when we notice things like that, we have to learn from them. That is such a big thing, right? So if we're literally like, I notice my hungry days are after I have poor hydration, well, make sure your hydration's on point then. And it is. It's a learning curve. It really, really is. Right. I try 5 days a week, swim, incline walk, but my scales hasn't moved in over a week. Stop trying to. So Leah, exercise doesn't cause. It doesn't. Right. You can flog yourself for the gym 5 times a week, right? And that's great. That's great for your physical health. That's great for your mental health. Exercise doesn't burn that many calories. It really doesn't. I'm sorry. I never want to bust people's bubbles because I don't want people to stop exercising. But so many people exercise for the wrong reason. You've literally just put there, I train 5 days a week, swim, incline walk, but my scales haven't moved. So you're associating exercise with fat loss, weight loss. No, you lose body fat through being in a calorie deficit. And if you're only trying to put yourself in a calorie deficit through exercise, it's going to be very, very disappointing. This is 1 pound of body fat. right? 1 pound of body fat. It contains 3,500 calories. Leah, you're training 5 days a week, which is a lot of training to do in a week. You'll be lucky if you burn 1,500 calories. Right now, you might come on. No, my watch says I burn 3,000 calories. You don't. Your watch is wrong. Right? They're very optimistic. Yeah, you'll be lucky if you burn 300 calories per training session. You'd be lucky. Right. So first of all your exercise is doing in terms of a direct impact on weight loss is it's burning the calories that won't even lose half a pound of fat. Right. But remember, so you might be like, right, well, surely I should be losing half a pound. You only lose fat if you are in a calorie deficit. You burn fat exercising, but it won't reduce fat in your body unless you consume less calories than you burn. So I stick to my calories every deficit every day. You're not doing. It really is that simple, right? If you're in a calorie deficit, you lose fat. It is that simple. There's everyone on the planet, every animal on the planet, right? What do you think would happen to Blossom, who's asleep over there on the sofa, if I didn't feed her for a week? She'd lose fat, right? Because she's in a calorie deficit. So you don't. So first of all, we can only fix a problem if you accept you've got one. So you're not sticking to your calorie deficit. Now we need to find out, Leah, why you're not in a calorie deficit. Are your calories wrong? Are you not very good at tracking? Right? What's the reason? Yeah. And with Team R8 and include everything goes in my mouth, I'm also due on. Right? So it doesn't matter that you're with Team R8. I don't care. Right? It doesn't matter. Everything that goes in my mouth. When people are so defensive about tracking calories, I guarantee you're not as accurate as you think you are. Right? And I'm not having a go at you. I'm trying to help you. I'm trying to find out. I'm trying to give you a reality check. If you're in a calorie deficit, and if you are tracking every single morsel that goes in accurately, well, your calories are wrong then. Dead simple. You're in if your scales aren't moving, you're not in a calorie deficit, you're in a calorie maintenance. So Team R8 are giving you incorrect calories. Right? There's always an answer. There's always an answer. And genuinely, if, what's your movement? What's your weight? What's your height? What's your sex? I'll tell you if your calories are right. Because there's no one better than me for calculating calories. I'm telling you now. I don't care. You could line every weight loss coach, fitness person up, right? And I'll tell you now, my calorie calculations will be about pride myself on them. My calorie calculations will be have a good day, off to a meeting. Cheers, Nikki. I'll have your plan over later on. It's all done. I've written it up. It's all good. I just need to go through it. I like to go through it again, and then I'll have it over for you later on. It'll be in your email by tea time tonight. All right. So I'll tell you now, I calculate calories better than anyone. I pride myself on it. I genuinely do, because I have my own calorie calculator that I've written myself, that I've tweaked over the years, and my clients never need to change their calories, right? They're bob on every time, right? So tell me your height, tell me your weight, tell me. I don't do this normally, but I'll tell you if your calories are wrong. I won't tell you what your calorie allowance is. I don't do that, right? But you tell me your height, tell me your weight, tell me how many steps you do on average. I know you train 5 days a week, right? And I'll tell you tell me what calories Team R8 you've got you on. No, I don't do that. I don't do free online calorie calculations. It's bullshit. Right? I don't do that. If you want a full calorie breakdown from me, who's one of the best at calculating calories, you either join my community or you join my one-to-one plan, and I'll give you a full calorie breakdown. Yeah. Right. So you're 21 stone, 3 pounds. Okay. And you're 30 years old. Team at 7 to have 2,000 calories a day, but I only have 1,700. No chance. You're not eating it. You're not eating it. If you're 21 stone, 3 pounds, 5'6", 30 years old, eating 1,700 calories a day, you would lose 2 pounds a week easy, even if you're doing 5 times a week training, doing 6,000 steps a day. So you're not eating the calories you think you are, right? And I'm not being rude when I say this, Leah. You've obviously got quite an issue around controlling food, so that makes sense that you're not eating 17. No one that's 21 stone, 3 pounds can control 1,700 calorie a day calorie intake. You're not doing it. You convince yourself you are, but you're not. Right? It's that simple. You might be doing it 3 days a week. You might be doing it 4 days a week. You might be doing it Monday to Friday and just having an easier weekend. You're not. Right? Now, you've not given me any time frames here. You might be like, well, I only started on Monday and it's Thursday. Right? But I'm sorry, and I won't sugarcoat it, So I've lost £7 in total in 3 weeks. But so now we're getting a bit of nuance, right? Weight fluctuates. You're due on. You just said that, right? You've lost £7 in 3 weeks, so you're losing £2 a week. I just said that you'd lose £2 a week if you are doing. So now we've got some context and nuance. You are sticking to your calories, but Team RH should be teaching you about weight fluctuations. Right, they should be teaching you, and really, in all honesty, Team RH isn't your target. Right, at your current weight, they'll be asking you to track your protein, asking you to hit your fiber goals, asking you to do this, and unless you hit all those goals, they won't give you any help. Right, and it's too complicated for you. That's for someone that is wanting to get lean, get skinny, get ripped, this, that, and the other. You're at a different part of your journey. So, do you know what I mean? But, I would still say, though, if you're 1,700 calories a day, you're not eating that. You are being inaccurate. Because really, if you've got a decent level of movement at 21 stone at 17, you're probably going to be losing £3 a week. You probably could be, let me see. What is classed as a calorie maintenance? Calorie maintenance is the amount of calories you burn in a week through everything: metabolism, everyday movement, and exercise. That's it. It's the amount of calories you burn in a week. And if you eat the same amount of calories as you burn, your body fat will stay the same, not your weight. Your weight will always fluctuate. Weight will fluctuate on a day-to-day basis. If you think a lot of people, this is where a lot of people go wrong. They might get to their goal weight, and their goal weight is 145 pounds. Like, right, I'm 145 pounds now. I've hit my goal weight. I want to be 145 pounds. No, you're always going to have a swing. It's always because you're going to have weight fluctuations. Calorie maintenance, calories just control fat in and out, right? Energy balance. Calorie deficit, lose body fat. Calorie maintenance, body fat stays the same. Calorie surplus, increase of body fat. Weight is not just solely body fat. Your weight will fluctuate if you wear clothes on the scales, but generally weight fluctuates through food weight, water retention, and body fat loss and gain of all those things, right? So many people go, right, I've dieted down to this. I'm now going to go into a calorie maintenance, right? And then next time I weigh, I've gone up 3 pounds. Oh, God, it's so hard to maintain my weight. No, you're not. Calorie maintenance maintains your body fat. It maintains your body fat. Now, when you're in a calorie maintenance, will your weight permanently go up? No. Right? And if it is, and I'm talking over 3 months, I'm not talking over a week or 2 weeks. Stop looking at everything so short term. Right? It's not, you didn't get fat overnight, so stop trying to think everything reflects overnight. It doesn't. Right? You've had a weight issue for 10 years. Yeah, you're trying to sort everything out in 3 months. It doesn't work like that. You've got to give things time, or in 3 weeks. Yeah. So you might weigh after the following week after increasing your calories to maintenance, it goes up 3 pounds, and you start panicking. You've taken on more food, you've taken on more water. Of course, your weight's going to go up. But when you're losing weight, you should be learning all of this, right? Your coach or someone should be teaching you all these things, because you need to create a healthy relationship with weight loss. You have to understand the backgrounds behind it. Common issue, very, very, really, really common issue. Team RH, I'm on 700 calories more than Neil. Yeah, look, I'm not having a go at Team RH at all. Never done anything wrong to me. And they have their niche and they do what they do, and they're a massive company. I'm just a minnow compared to them. They've got hundreds of thousands of followers, probably turn over. I've never looked at it. I have no idea, but they'll turn over millions of pounds a month, right? They're a huge company, right, in terms of the weight loss game. But when you are a huge company, you simply become a cog in a system. You become a number to them. That's all you are, right? And I don't mean that against, and that's fine. That's the way they've wanted to go down. That's the route they wanted to go down, create their own app, have all the, create their own app, have, blah, 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 have a few coaches. They've probably got, you might have 10 PTs between 100,000 people. How personal can it be? you know. And fair play, if he's got 100,000 sign-ups and he's charging £10 a month, that's £10 million a month turnover. Obviously, there's a lot of bills, but he's built himself a very successful business there. Is Richie that owns it, and whether you agree with the way he outputs things out, that's fine, right? That's irrelevant. But like anything, you're not going to get the personal touch. So their online calorie calculator is going to be an online calorie calculator. It's going to be a rough ballpark figure. And one thing I do notice with Team RX, and like I am, they're very big on lots of movement. And lots of movement means lots of calories. But some people just can't achieve, for whatever reason, what they're asking them to achieve. Yeah. And I do know, because I've had quite a lot of clients from Team RX move on to my plan because they want to talk to someone. But I know part of it is you've got to, because you're logging through their app, and it's a very clever system, because what it means is they don't need to deal with half the people, because you know they probably know that half the people that sign up to their app, because it's not that expensive, aren't going to put the effort in, right? So what's the point in wasting time on people that aren't going to put the effort in? You know, it's that'll be their viewpoint. So to talk to anyone on Team RX and know you've got to, like, over a period of time, hit your protein, hit your fiber, hit this, and it's a lot. And they know not many people are going to do that. So they don't need to give personal attention to people that aren't going to do that. But those are the people that need the personal attention more than the people that are nailing it, you know. So how much body fat should you lose with a £2 loss? So a £2 loss on the scale, well, you answer that question, Claire, by how big's your calorie deficit, right? Now, like I say, weight loss isn't linear, right? So if you lose £2 on the scales, it's not always going to be body fat. You might lose £1 of body fat and £1 of water retention. You know, you might lose £3 on the scales, and that might be £2 of body fat, £1 of water retention. You might lose £2 on the scales, it might be £2 of water retention, right? It's all down to your calorie deficit. You should know how, like, I know every week how much body fat my clients have lost in their check-ins, right? By, you know, I look at their movement, I assume they're being consistent with the calories that I give them, and then I work it out. But you know, I put myself into a 3,500 calorie deficit. A 6,500 calorie deficit a week. So I know when I weigh myself, I know I lose nearly £2 of body fat every 2 weeks. So if I weigh and I've only lost £1, it's because I've gained a little bit of extra food water weight. If I weigh every 2 weeks and I've lost £5, I know I've lost my body fat and a bit of extra water retention. So you just understand it from what your calorie deficit is. What's your calorie deficit a week? 3,500. So if you've been consistent sticking to a 3,500 calorie deficit, and over the space of 3 months, you've lost 17 pounds, 14 pounds of that is body fat, and 3 pounds of that is excess food water retention that was in your body when you started your diet. You know, how would I tone my skin better than having loose skin? You can't, Melanie, I'm afraid. You can't, right? You can't tone skin. You can build muscle under your skin that will hopefully fill your skin out a little bit. You can't tone skin. Skin is an organ, and it's basically like an elastic band. And if it's lost its elasticity because you stretched it out through being overweight, that's gone, right? Your skin might snap back a little bit through weight loss, but how much is just down to the individual. Can't tone skin, can't change it. And if anyone says do these exercises to tone your skin, they're lying to you. Sign up to my plan and you'll lose weight and have no loose skin at the end of it. Lying to you. I'll never lie to you. All right. So go to the gym. You know, I've been training for years and 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 years, and I'll go to the gym shortly, and that ain't going anywhere. I can't do anything about that. All right, I just can't. Now I can go to the gym and lift weights, and I can gain a bit of muscle that'll fill it a little bit, right? But that ain't going anywhere. Now that would look a lot worse if I didn't go to the gym and try and gain a bit of that. It really is that simple. And I'm not saying I'm dead muscular. I'm not, right? But if I just had, 2 knots of cotton on my arms, this would hang a lot further down and it would look a lot worse than it actually is. But because I go to the gym and train, I don't mind having that little bit of a flap. It won't go anywhere. It's not going to go anywhere. Right? That's loose skin. Yeah. So it's and I'm not, I've trained in the gym for 12 years consistently. I do arm workouts all the time. I'll be doing my biceps in about an hour's time. That bingo wing ain't changing, right? But you can change the aesthetics of your body, and having a little bit of muscle alongside a bit of loose is all good. I'm all right with that. You know, it just is what it is. It's part of the journey. Right, guys, I have got to go. It's been a pleasure as always. I'm back tonight about 7:30. I'm back tonight for round about 7:30. Guys, if you're on the one-to-one plan, you need me, drop me a WhatsApp. You know where I'm at. Anyone that signed up, Lisa, I know you signed up. If you send over a new consultation form, I'll do your new calorie allowance today. And if you can't get back into the groups, I'll add you back to everything today. Everyone else, if you started on plan Monday, I will have your plan over to you by tea time tonight. As long as you sent your consultation form back, I am waiting for one. And if you want to come on plan on Monday and work with me with a personal touch, with your weight loss journey, full tailored plan will get you in the right, and things like that. If you're on plan with me, like Leah then going, why am I not losing weight? She could have just messaged me today, WhatsApp me. Neil, I'm panicking. I know I've lost 7 pounds over the last 3 weeks, but I've got the scales this morning and they've not moved. And I would then talk her through why. Right. And then she's all good and positive in her head and she's going with the day smiling. Right. If that is what you want from a coach, come get on board. TikTok profile, Facebook page, YouTube page, half price at the moment, just 15 quid. All right, just 15 quid. TikTok profile, Facebook page, YouTube page, Instagram, or just go to the website. Where is it? There, reallossboss.net. Right, click weight loss, click monthly one-to-one plan. Use code New Year New Me at checkout. Half price sign up, just 15 quid, and you'll get 4 months of coaching for the price of 3. Have a great Thursday. I've got to go. I'll see you around about 7:30 tonight. TikTok, I'll sign off to you first. I'll try. Facebook, YouTube, sign off to you second.